Walmart continues its bid to open bank branches inside some of its stores around the country as the FDIC approval deadline closes in. Several more states are considering legislation that would bar the retail giant, among others, from opening those banks within their borders. Is the move justified, or is it just another case of government overstepping its bounds? Both sides of the issue with us today. James Glassman with the American Enterprise Institute and David Nassar, who's with Wal-Mart Watch, a labor-backed group seeking to change the retailer's business practices. Good to see both. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
FDIC has a moratorium right now on the ability of these retailers to open their own bank branches inside their stores, but they're expected to take up the issue again on Jan 31. Jim, what should they do?
Well, I think the FDIC should allow retailers to get into banking. This decision really was made in 1998 with Gramm-Leach-Bliley, which basically ended the old Glass-Steagall separation between commerce and banking. We made that decision as a country, as a society, and I think it's great for consumers. You still got interest groups, though, that want to preserve the turf that they've got. So you've got the banks fighting to keep the retailers out. You've got the realtors fighting the banks because the banks want to get into real estate. But in my mind, certainly commerce and banking can unite with the proper regulatory safeguards which exist right now.
David, what about that? Are critics like yourself fighting a battle was actually resolved 70 years ago?
Well, I'm not actually sure when a local community bank in Peoria became an interest group, but this is a broad coalition that's been put together to try to preserve communities across this country, to try to preserve business in this country. And Walmart, if they were to take action to open banks in their stores, could drive market change in a way that could really undermine the economy.
How?
Well, as you're well aware, local community banks provide a large amount of loans and capital to small business in this country and to larger business. And if those businesses were to be affected in a way that so many other businesses have been affected by Walmart's growth, it could undermine their capacity to do that.
Jim,
this is really a bridge too far.
Jim, it is well documented that Walmart has been a category killer of sorts in various communities around the country. Yes, it's been good for jobs, but the small mom and pop stores that are, whether they're a grocery store, a bookstore, whatever it is, could the same thing happen to community banks around the country?
No, I don't see that at all. First of all, community banks are, by the way, a very powerful lobby. I don't see that at all. First of all, Walmart in general has not killed off lots and lots of businesses. Many businesses, in fact, have grown up as a result of having a Walmart in their area, new businesses. But I don't think that's really the point. The point is that for consumers, having another potential source of lending or of a place to put their deposits at a better rate, that's a good thing. I would also say very quickly that Walmart has said that they don't want to get into consumer banking, that the reason they're doing this is to clear debit and credit charges. However, in my opinion, Walmart ought to get into consumer banking. They've got the capital. That's going to be beneficial to consumers.
And David, what about that? They've said they're doing this to lower transaction costs. That's been their mantra since the days when Sam Walton founded this company. Can't we believe him on that?
Well, look, they also said they didn't want to open, they also said they aren't going to open banks in the stores, but they lied in their testimony before the FDIC about the arrangements that they have with their bank leases with the banks that are operating in their stores. And frankly, this is also a company that can't seem to follow the law when it comes to simple things like gender discrimination and giving people lunch breaks. So I'm not sure why we should entrust them with the ability to own a bank.
Well, I must run at this point. We'll know January 31st whether the FDIC is going to change the playing field on this, but thank you both for joining us. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Bill.